Super juice saves you time and money. But how much exactly? Today I'll test that out as we dive into the depths and benefits of using super juice in your bar or for hosting cocktail parties. We'll go over what super juice is, see why the cocktail world has been talking about it for the last 2 years, and I'll show you how you can spice up your super juice for some delicious cocktails. We partnered with the amazing Mijenta tequila, which has sustainability, environmental responsibility and community in its core, so I can't wait for that community to include our friends of cocktails as well. Today's cocktails will be made in the spirit of Mijenta Eco Verde, echoing change, one cocktail at a time. The first will be a minty spiced tequila highball, then a reef on a corpse survivor with clarified orange super juice. But first, let's get down to some facts, numbers and experiments. It's super juice time. As I'm pretty sure you've noticed at some point over the last 2 years, almost everyone in the cocktail world has been talking about super juice. That's because it's an amazing technique, developed by Nikola, but whichever recipe you try, you'll be saving time and energy, money and environment. Let's start with a little experiment and find out how much time and good old elbow grease is needed to juice 1 liter of lime juice. That should be good enough for 40 cocktails, give or take. We'll then compare that time with the effective time it takes us to make super juice, so peeling, measuring, blending and straining. To freshly squeeze 1 liter of lime juice with a Mexican elbow citrus squeezer, I needed to cut and squeeze 30 limes, which obviously had quite a lot of juice in them, more than 1 ounce or 30 ml per each one. Number of limes will be important for the money part of this conversation. Also, use gloves when you're doing this, because the acids are burning my skin already. In total, it took me 10 minutes and 6 seconds to get enough lime juice for a not so busy shift at a cocktail bar. Now let's make 1 liter of super juice. I have my limes, citric and malic acids and water here, with a peeler, a scale and a blender ready as well. I think about 5 limes will be enough, but let's find out. Make sure you're working with limes with food grade peels and clean them thoroughly before starting. If you're counting that, you can add 2 minutes to the whole process. From here we are starting with peeling the limes, trying not to get too much of the white pit. If you think it's too much, you can scrape that off with a knife. Weigh your peels to see where you're at and use the Mijenta calculators on cavincost.com to see how much acids and water you'll be adding. I got 56 grams of peels, which I think will put us right on the 1 liter mark. So once we have that, we can move on to adding the citric and malic acids, then add the appropriate amount of water. In the original recipe, this would sit for 1 hour to extract some of the essential oils. But if you have a good blender, it will do that job for you, as it pulverizes the peels. To make good use of this time, I'll also squeeze the peeled limes, since we'll add that juice in as well. It's got the same ratio of acidity, the wonderful lime flavor and water, as what we have in the blender. Once all the peels are fully blended, we'll then just strain out all the solids using a cloth filter. This part may be a bit time consuming, depending on your equipment, but we'll manage. Help it along with a potato ricer to get the best yield, and that's it. In total, we spent 8 minutes and 25 seconds of labor time to end up with a little over 1 liter of lime super juice. And while 2 minutes might not sound like much, trust me, we saved quite some effort. But the great thing is that the more we make, the bigger is the difference, since you're only adding the time to peel additional limes and a bit of extra time for straining. And if you think 1 liter of super juice is too much for you as a home bartender, just freeze it into smaller bottles or containers and take it out a few hours before. Of course, it's not just time you're saving, but also money. If you're managing a bar, you'll be saving on your man hours from bartenders or barbacks prepping the lime juice, but also with all the limes you won't be buying. For 1 liter of fresh lime juice, we needed 30 limes, which cost us 21 euros, or a little under $23. For the super lime juice, we needed 5 limes, which cost us 3.5 euros, or $3.75. That's the current prices in Slovenia. Prices may vary. We also need citric and malic acid. The amounts we used totaled 0.93 euros, or $1. So in total, we're up to 4.43 euros, or $4.77. For 1 liter of juice, you are saving nearly $18 with super juice. But what if you make 100 or even 1000 cocktails? Then we're up to $40, or a whopping $400. Again, that's without counting the labor costs of someone squeezing the limes. Another significant impact we can make is on the environment. Spain, Mexico, South Africa and Turkey were the biggest exporters of lemons and limes, with the US being by far the biggest importer. That's a lot of transport for your daiquiris. We've seen by how much we can decrease our consumption of these citrus fruits with just a package of the acids that are naturally present in the same fruit. That can even have a positive effect on the soil, as acidic waste decreases the availability of plant nutrients and increases the availability of some elements to toxic levels. But if they're using citrus to make the acids, is there even a difference? Yes, because they're not. The citric acid you'll find at your stores is produced by feeding simple carbohydrates or sugar to a fungal microbe. I guess it's like kombucha, but a bit more controlled. The resulting fermented compound is then processed before it's crystallized and dried into what we use for drinks, baking, canning, and so on. And by using just citric and malic acids and not other acids present in limes and lemons, which are much more susceptible to oxidation, we also increase the shelf life. Fresh lime juice will change flavor within the hour by some sources and up to 24 hours by others, but super juice will taste just as good for at least a week. By keeping the super juice fresh for longer, you're not wasting fresh limes, saving your time, energy, money, and of course the environment. Another benefit we get from the prolonged shelf life is the option to play around with our citrus juice, which hasn't been explored enough in my opinion. Let's say you're clarifying your super juice, or you're adding extra flavors and spices to it. It won't be good just for that night, like it would with fresh citrus juice. So that's exactly what we'll do today, for 2 cocktails with some premium tequila. Both will encapsulate the Manifesto Mijenta Eco Verde, focusing on making small changes that collectively create a significant impact in the bar industry. For Mijenta, everything begins with quality. Their award-winning, additive-free, sustainable tequila celebrates the traditions of Mexican culture. It is distilled exclusively using fully mature Blue Weber agave from the highlands of Jalisco. From start to finish, it's crafted with passion and rooted in tradition. Now for the cocktails we'll use these bottles in. We'll make a twist on the Corpse Survivor No. 4 with clarified orange super juice. But let's start with a flavored and spiced lime super juice for a refreshing tequila highball cocktail. These are the ingredients for what I'm calling the After 5 bunny, because it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Starting with the base, we'll use Mijenta Blanco, but we'll also need the spiced lime super juice, matcha syrup, cacao liqueur or creme de cacao, saline solution, and soda water. Let's quickly go over how to make the spiced lime super juice and the matcha syrup. Then we'll build the cocktail. We'll be adding mint freshness with the spicy sweetness and aroma of anise seeds into our super juice. I'll start by adding 400 grams of lime super juice into a blender. To that, add 0.8 grams of mint tea. These are dried and crushed peppermint leaves. And lastly, 0.4 grams of anise seeds. To get the most flavor out of them and to help out the blender, I'll crush them first with a mortar and a pestle. Once you have everything in the blender, close it up and blend on high speed for at least 30 seconds. Then strain the spiced super juice through a cloth filter. Shouldn't take too long and it will be ready to bottle. Add the label and let's get to making the matcha syrup. Here we need sugar, water and matcha powder. I'll be using plain white sugar in a 2:1 ratio to water. Once I boiled some water, I'm adding 100 grams into a blender, right over the 200 grams of sugar. One of the faster ways to make rich super syrup is to blend it. That will dissolve the sugar much faster than stirring it. For now, I'll leave it to cool a bit, before we add matcha tea powder. I think this way it will keep a bright green color for longer. We'll need just 1 gram of it, and once our syrup is cooled, we'll add the powder right into the blender, since we'll blend it again to make sure the powder is fully mixed. Leave for the syrup to settle a bit, then bottle it. Add the label, and we're ready to make our first cocktail. Serve it in your choice of a highball or high tumbler glass. Just make sure it's nicely chilled. I also like to chill the shaker. That ensures you're not over diluting your drink from the ice chilling the shaker, instead of your drink as you shake it. Into a smaller tin, we'll start by adding our ingredients, starting with 2 ounces or 60 ml of Mijenta Blanco tequila. Next up, our spiced lime super juice, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml. Follow that with the matcha rich syrup, half an ounce or 50 ml. And something that will pair really nicely with mint will be 1/4 ounce or 7.5 ml of cacao liqueur. I'm using my homemade version, but white creme de cacao should work as well. Lastly, before you shake, 2 drops of 20% saline solution to boost the flavors. Then drain the water from the ice, add the cocktail, seal the shakers and give it a good quick shake. Double strain it over the ice and finish off the cocktail by topping it up with chilled soda water. Give everything a quick turn with a bar spoon and garnish with a sprig of mint. Give it a spank first to release the oils. Then place it in a drink. Looks and smells incredible. But before we give it a try, let's also make the second cocktail of the day, which I'm calling Dia de Mientos. The base of this reef on the Corpse Survivor No. 4 will be Mijenta Reposado, alongside rosé wine aperitif, clarified orange super juice, agave syrup, rose water, saline solution, and absinthe in a spray bottle. My orange super juice recipe is acid adjusted to match the acidity of lemon and lime juice. You can check out how to make it in the original super juice video. We are not going into detail on how to make it now, but you'll have all the recipes and the calculators with the amounts you need under the Mijenta calculators on the kevincost.com, including one for acid-adjusted orange super juice. This kind of juice is perfect for cocktails like the one we'll make now, since the orange flavor will replace orange liqueur, and the acidity of super juice will replace lemon juice. Clarified juice will also mean there is no need to shake the cocktail, so we end up with a clear drink. Here's how to clarify super juice with agar-agar. This process works for any type of citrus juice, super or freshly squeezed. I'll be clarifying 10 ounces or 300 milliliters of orange super juice, but I'll first measure out 2.5 ounces or 75 ml of the juice to hydrate agar-agar. We need just 0.6 gram. Again, if you're making a bigger or smaller batch, you'll find the calculators on kevincost.com to help you out. As you're stirring it, bring the mixture up to a simmer. Agar-agar needs liquid and heat to fully dissolve, so we're making sure this happens fully. Once done, take it off the heat. Add the rest of the super juice, all that, while you keep stirring. When you see everything is completely mixed, it's time to chill the super juice agar mixture. I'm placing this in cold water. Then I'll move it to a freezer. During this time, agar-agar worked its magic. You should see a soft gel forming, which you can break apart lightly with a whisk to make the straining a bit easier and faster. I'll use a coffee filter, but a cloth filter would be a faster option for bigger batches. Since this is nice and clear from the start, I'll just move the filter and wait for all this to filter through. After what seems like only a second, thanks to a little editing, our clarified super juice is complete. With that, we're ready to make diademientos. We won't be shaking the cocktail, but throwing it, so add your ice into the small shaker tin this time, and the ingredients will go into the larger one, again starting with Mijenta tequila. This time, we're using reposado, and just 1 ounce or 30 ml. Follow that with 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of rosé wine aperitif. And like we mentioned, replacing orange liqueur and lemon juice, we're adding 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of our clarified orange super juice. To provide a little extra sweetness, we're adding a sweetener that will pair nicely with the tequila, half an ounce or 50 ml of agave syrup. To make it, I add 64 grams of water to 100 grams of agave nectar. For a little floral note, I'm adding 1 drop of rose water, and to enhance the flavors, 2 drops of saline solution. This is made by dissolving 20 grams of salt in 80 grams of water. Now for the chilling and diluting the cocktail. Add the hot iron strainer into the shaker tin with ice. Drain the water, then pour in the cocktail over the ice and drop it back into the empty shaker tin. Repeat this process for about 6 to 8 times, extending the distance between the shakers as you go. You'll notice the bottom shaker getting colder and the amount of the liquid expand as the ice chills and dilutes our cocktail, but the throwing motion also aerates the cocktail. Then grab a chilled Nikola glass from the freezer, and before we pour in the cocktail, we'll add the last ingredient, a spray of absinthe to coat the glass. If you don't have a spray bottle, just add a small amount of absinthe, swirl it around the entire glass and dump it out. Then pour in the cocktail. Cut a small circle of orange peel, express the essential oils over the glass and place it in the cocktail. Wonderful. Now for the best part of making cocktails, trying them. Let's start with the After 5 Bunny. The green color hints towards herbal flavors and has a minty fresh aroma. It quickly turns into a kind of an after 8 party on your palate as chocolate and mint play well together. But it's still a light, refreshing cocktail with Mijenta Blanco as the main ingredient, which still lets other players show their flavors. A wonderful highball packed with flavors. Now for the diademientos. It has a sweet orange and floral aroma. Both of these highlight the Mijenta Reposado tequila, which gives the cocktail a strong foundation and character. The rosé aperitif connects the dots for all the ingredients and adds a little pink color that matches the taste. Any day you'll drink this will be a day of celebration. With that, we've reached the bottom of the glass. I'd love to hear what aspect of super juice you find the most appealing. Saving time, saving money, or saving the environment. Add the appropriate emoji in the comments to show you've made it all the way to the end of the episode. And if you went with money or environment, you'll also love the fact that you can use the leftovers for making super juice, for further ingredients or garnishes. There's still plenty of flavor there. You can dehydrate and crush them, mix with salt, and rim your margaritas with them. Or add more water and sugar and make an easy refreshing soda. But my favorite thing is the fast and easy homemade lime, lemon and orange cello, like we did here. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for more episodes with sustainable cocktails by using sustainable techniques, sustainable mixers and sustainable tequila. Cheers, friends of cocktails.